Labyrinth overcomes all odds and is the most represented deck out of this regional. Is that Mikanko as well? A big 30% of you that have not smashed the living crap out of that subscribe and smash it so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. Team Solemn Circus has everything that you're going to need to know for the Halifax regional here. And let me tell you, when I saw this breakdown, I was like, what in the world is actually happening here? Especially with triple Labyrinth edging over like the rest of the competition. This has been a story that I haven't really seen a lot of right now. Labyrinth, in pretty much every other region, has just been a 1-0 representation. The fact that you've had multiples here, you know, stepping up is very, very nice. Now, we have Dragon Link here. I don't know if you've been paying much attention to what's going on across the metagame for the very early stages here, but there has been a lot of Dragon Link right now. Like, Dragon Link hasn't had like a crazy like turnover, but the deck has been sitting here long enough that people are kind of taking a look at this and they're going, wow, you know, like, we're really dealing with Dragon Link re-emerging? Yeah, we are. Now, the thing that had me most excited about this regional was Mikanko. I have loved seeing Mikanko step through the light here and actually be such a strong competitor out here. And I mean, here you go again. I'll clap for it. It's anytime I can see Mikanko, it's one of my favorite decks in the game, and the fact that it is performing has been amazing. We also have Purely stepping into the light here as well. You know, people told me Purely didn't exist anymore, but it still does. And then we have Flonderies. Yeah, after the loss of Berry Statue, everybody was like, oh, toss it in the trash. N-Pen, still a good card. People seem to forget, like, N-Pen held the deck together once, they can do it again. So that is the Halifax regional breakdown. I like what I'm seeing here. Let's pass on over so you can take a look at what's going on. Alright, winning our regional was Dragon Link. Yeah, there is the power of Black Metal Dragon. This card is so good. It amazes me that people thought that, you know, you didn't need to play this. And then, of course, your Bysteel package of Triple Magnet, Triple Sireneer, 1 Baldric, 1 Druisworm. Actually, kind of surprised they didn't try out more Druisworms, but this does facilitate the dump, which actually does matter a lot. Getting Lubellion up and running is literally what this deck wants to do. Outside of that, I see that we are citing Roland Lockwards done here. 44 cards is also not a bad place to find yourself in this format. Especially, you know, considering that the format is kind of starting up here. Dragon Link, I think, will continue to have some very interesting ideas across the board here, but we'll have to wait and see, you know, how further developments do tend to go for this, because, like, this deck is, trust me, the boards that you can make with this are not something that you should take easily. Alright, next up here we have, wow, Dragon Link really did get first and second out of this event. People were that unprepared. It's nice to see Rocket Caliber here actually seeing play. You know, shifting from like the super extremely heavy Bysteel package, you see down to like the slightly more defined here. We're not even playing Sireneer for this. Just kind of interesting. I mean, Lubellion still effectively reverse engineers itself into, you know, these. So, interesting. Okay. Let's see here. Talents for defensive options. I don't know why you try to play this deck without Dragon Ravine. Hand traps down here. We have Drolls and Bells, so standard defensive options, and Space Rock. And then, of course, thrusting into the Dimensional Barrier. I love the fact that you can just actually, you're like, oh, hey, you know, like, oh, thanks for interrupting me. Now go ahead and thrust into the Dimensional Barrier, and your opponent's just looking at you going, you gotta be kidding me. Like, is that really, was that really necessary? Answer was, oh, absolutely. Next up here, we have Labyrinth, which I assume is going to be many of these that I'm going to be staring at here. We are playing 1 Gamma, 1 Driver. Oh, we are feeling daring today, I see. I wonder how many times they drew the Driver versus the 1 of Gamma. Now, what's really interesting about this is we are actually playing the Fallen of Albaz package in here. So, like, I assume we're doing the same thing that we saw Eldritch do back in the day, where you use this to kind of patch the hole that the deck had by making a boss monster that can actually, you know, give you the chance to play the game. And don't underestimate, like, the interruptibility that this guy gives you, alright? Like, having a super strong boss monster, you can just go, oh, hey, like, good luck. I hope you have the out to that. And if they don't, you get your free W. So good stuff to actually see that Labyrinth has kind of started to pull pages out of Eldritch's book here. Next up here is our Mikanko deck. There's the Kaijus. Yep. Handing your opponent a monster and then proceeding to do whatever you want with it is absolutely amazing. I see that we are also side decking the Metal Silver Armor in here as well. It's kind of interesting. We are not doing a sold combo in here, which we saw out of the Kong's Cards tournament that really, was meant to turn people's heads. I think a lot of people initially probably saw that and was like, oh, wow, the fact that you have different lines of play here. Shout out to Harold here, actually being a free dump and then a free toggle into the Ohime here. The deck, I would almost say that this is just Ignorance Turbo. Your entire job is you just crash into your opponent's monsters. That's it. That's all you need to do. All right, and I think, once again, as we go forward here, possibly a possibility of this deck continuing to be maybe a relatively strong metagame contender. It'll come down to what people think that they can do. Next up here is Purely. This is what I love. People like, oh no, it's just Purely with a Dark World package. Interestingly enough, I mean, it's just playing Lucent and the Rainbucks in here. We're not even doing like the other value that you really get out of this. It's just, okay, go ahead and Lucent dump. Oh, hey, like now I got Rainbucks on the field. Other builds try to play like the Snow Brow package for the draws, but like, the fact that this build opted to not even need that, they instead went down an entirely different route for this, I think is actually pretty cool. So really, really nice to see, difference in value here for engines actually seeing play. Also, this card still being the board breaker that this deck wants to see. Obviously, when you can stunt your opponent and, still allow your chance to play the game is very, very good. So, different innovations out here for Purely. Not what I expected to see. Next up here, hey, it's Toucan Salmon Friends. We're playing one evenly, so obviously you can thrust on into this standard disruption. Technically, you can also thrust into the Harpy's Featherstorm here. Why aren't Flounder players doing this more? Why are they not actually thrusting into this? I think I've seen one other build in like the whole last couple of weeks that was doing this. Maybe people just don't really want to play this deck enough. I don't know. See that we're also side decking two cherries down here, which is fine. We have Herald for full line of disruption. You gotta love the fact that you can just punish your opponent with massive ease here with Herald. Outside of that, tribute monster ratios feel fine. I think for everything that this deck wants to do, feels, I'd say, once again, pretty standard. Good stuff. I do love seeing what Flounder can bring to the table here. Next up here is, okay, well, this is the second build that I have seen here that is putting this branded package into Labyrinth. So, once again, we're doing what Eldritch was doing. We want to make sure that we have access to a boss monster here that we can, punish the opponent with. And I think that this is kind of a good little tech choice here. We are main decking the Eradicator, so, if you run into a matchup that's going to be an annoyance, you have access to this. I see here one punishment is fine. We are siding the deck Devi. We're actually side decking the skill drains here as well, so that if your opponent, starts to do something that, you're like, I don't really want to deal with that today, you have access to this. Outside of that, I see this is back again. All right, well, I guess the more you see out here. And then our last little build here, so this is the conventional version here that I'm used to seeing. This is, we roll the skill drain across the keyboard, we have compulses for defensive options, playing one lovely Labyrinth here. We have, of course, Lava Golem in here that we can take away our opponent's monsters. Side decking the deck Devi and the Eradicator, so we can pull them, actually same thing with this, and even the different dimension ground here. Normal traps are like this deck's best friend. You just pull them on out, you look at your opponent and go, hey, I hope you got the out. So that is the breakdown here for the Halifax Regional. What do you guys think? Please leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think. I'll see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Peace. patrons. Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.